We are live, we are live, we are live. Yes.
All right,
So,
hold on.
yes, we are live. I'm going to introduce, just wait. She's so anxious. I'm just kidding. But yeah. So, before we get started, shout out to my wonderful husband, King Nomad, out there checking us out. And all of you who are tuning in. That's right. Oh, I just got my notification. I hope everybody out there is getting their notification. We are live from the Yas Mall on Yas Island in Abu Dhabi. And yeah, so we had a great day today, hanging out with my girl. Finally caught up with her. Peace and love, Millie Jean. Peace and love. And yeah, I'm going to introduce a few special people in a moment. Again, shout out to King Nomad. He is at home. It was a girl's day today. He's at home doing some work on the computer. And yeah. So Ava's over there doing her ordering thing. We're trying to order some, it's pretty late. We're going to get some cappuccino and whatnot. But yeah, so here we go. I want to introduce the one, the only, the talented, the beautiful, baby girl, Princess Nomad. Miss Ayla, the artist, is in the building. How are you?
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? It's me, Ayla here.
Yes, yes, yes. And yeah, we're in the Yas Mall.
Yes.
And we're in here, you know, it's like, she'll take you around a little bit, but we have a special guest today. And this is a huge mall. So where we are right now, a lot of people are not over here. This is what, after 11 at night? This is like 11 something, I don't know, at night here, 11:18. Yeah, so we went to an art gallery today, had a fantastic time, and we'll be uploading some reels and some different things for you guys pretty soon. But we have a special guest in the building, one of a good friend of mine who I'm glad to reconnect with, and I'm going to talk to her in a few seconds. She is, wow, so many things. She wears a lot of hats. She's an educator, professional, and she is a fashion designer. She has her own fashion line now. Hey, what's up, Mike Shep? Shout out to you. She is a fashion designer. And on the next interview, we're going to be able to check out some of her line that she has out right now. And she is hailing from Florida. And we're going to talk about where the other places she's lived in the world. Coming from Florida, now the UAE, and she's a fashion designer, the one, the only, the lovely, the talented Miss Akousa Fox. And how are you today, my love?
I am so glad to be here. I feel honored. As you know, I've been watching Nomad's blog, yes?
Yes.
For the whole time you've been gone, and I keep saying when they're coming back, God must have heard me because you're back on this side of the world. I'm really excited about this interview. I'm excited about the connecting with you, and I'm excited about just this whole journey that we're going to take together. Take two. Take two. It is. Yeah, I'm really so glad to see your face and to reconnect. I've always talked about you here and there on different lives and whatnot. So I'm so proud of you that you have accomplished, and I can't wait to show some of your pieces. You know, I know we didn't do it today. We were out hanging out doing the
You gotta
art
do it
thing.
this way because you can't hear.
Doing our art thing. Yeah, doing our art thing today, hanging out with Miss Ayla at the art gallery. We saw some fantastic pieces. World-renowned artists from all over the world. That was fabulous. Thank you for inviting us to check that out. And yeah, we got it. He said selfie style. We got it. Yeah, so definitely proud of you. And the line is called Akousa Fashions. Akousa Creations. Sorry, Akousa Creations. And please tell us, wow, how did this come about?
Well,
And first of all, let's get that. Where are you from?
Okay.
Give us a little back background, little backstory about you, about yourself?
I'm from a little town in England. Not London, not Brixton, not any. I'm from High Wycombe, where they really talk like they're really posh. And of course, my parents are Jamaican. You know, typical story: English, Jamaican. You know, came to America many years ago. Lived in New York. While I was in New York, we worked in the fashion industry. I think maybe I need to take my glasses off. That's better. I worked in the fashion industry for several different labels, and then my father said, "Why don't you come on down to Florida and come on down to Florida and give yourself a break from the New York bustle and rush and whatever." So I did, and I went to Florida, and it just so happened that my sister said, "Why don't you get a job in education?" And I got a job in education. I've been in education ever since. Was living in Florida for many years. Needed a break from Florida, just the atmosphere and, you know, different things within the school system. You know, if you're a teacher, shout out to all the teachers, I'm sure you know. So then we moved to Abu Dhabi. And while we were here, I just felt so much peace and just all of my creative energy and everything that I envisioned and thought of and wanted to do, I felt like, give it a try. And I started to have images from Africa and European fashions and Asian fashions. And what I did was I meshed them together. You know, I used some of the fabrics from what is it? Sari fabric. Yeah, sari fabrics, and some of the typical African palettes and designs. So combination of that, and you know, things that women can wear universally. So I wanted my clothes to speak to women of all cultures, and particularly I felt that women weren't dressing modestly anymore. So I wanted my clothes to be sexy, show a little bit of skin, but you know, be able to show off the beauty of fabrics, because some cultures have a lot of take a lot of time in designing their patterns, and you know, take a lot of time in their fabric creations. And I wanted to be able to show that on a woman, because of course women are beautiful.
Yes.
And I wanted to be able to put beautiful things on women universally. So this is why I said to myself, you know what? Matter of fact, what really happened is Sunny Days, which is shout out to Sunny Days, another sister of us that was here a long time ago. She saw me in a jeans abaya, and it had a design going down the back, and she was like, "I like that. Where did you make it?" And I thought to myself, I was like, you know, it was creeping in my head for many years. You know, go back to fashion, see where that takes you. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna make women beautiful again. I'm gonna make women sophisticated. If you think about how women used to look in the 50s, and you know, what was her name?
Oh, Diane Carroll.
Diane Carroll.
Yes, the sister.
And Cicely Tyson and Dionne Warwick and all those women, they were always fabulous, right? No matter where they went, they were always fabulous. It wasn't about the skin. It wasn't about showing all the, you know, different attributes of your body. Of course, you can see that in the fabric itself. But for me, I felt that modesty works. And modesty and elegance works. And so I wanted to have a modest, elegant clothing. From time to time, I show a little skin. But most of all, I wanted to show how beautiful we could look as women if we just got back to remembering how humble we are and how important it is for us to treasure ourselves, treasure our bodies, carry our bodies like it's a present to ourselves, you know. That present that God gave from us represents a spiritual understanding of how you are one with God, and God doesn't want you to be, you know, displaying his jewels all over the place, right? You got jewels. Those are jewels,
right?
Right? And I understand the, you know, the new mentality, and you know, to each his own. Everybody has their particular look and feels sexy a particular way, but this is the way I wanted to bring to women about how I felt how good they looked when they wore my clothing. So
Nice.
that's basically how it started.
So, have you always been into fashion?
Yes, yes. It just so happened that my grandmother was I should say a designer.
Wow.
And my grandmother taught every one of her daughters to sew. Every single one.
Wow.
She had 5 girls, and all 5 of them sewed differently.
Wow.
One sewed children's clothes.
Oh, wow.
My mother used to tell me the story about how she was going to the beach with with my father for her first beach date, and my other Aunt Myrtle, bless her soul, she's gone on, made her a bathing suit.
Oh, wow.
You know,
A bathing
it's
suit?
made her a bathing suit. And this was
Wow.
like, exactly. This must have been in what, the 1950s, early 1950s, late 1940s. So sewing machine was always in the house. My mother used to always say, learn how to sew. The first thing I ever did was I made my living room curtains. So I do have the ability to sew, but I have to give it to my grandmother, Carolyn Saunders, from Crooked River in Jamaica. I should have definitely, you know, taken that skill from her, because she had her own business, she had her own store, she used to sell clothing out of that store. So a lot of the people in my mother's family were designers or seamstress or whatever. So yes.
All right. Any questions there? So, do you, as a designer, do you have any designers that you actually like? Are there any designers out there that you actually look up to, that you like their style, the direction that they are taking fashion in right now?
I have a close male friend designer. I like to call him, or at least we're creating a relationship, Ade. He's out of Nigeria, and he creates his own palettes, or I should say his own patterns on design, on fabric. And it has I believe some historical significance to it, because it is like a typical, no, I shouldn't say typical. It is, I believe, taken from a type of known Nigerian pattern, and he has created his own palettes and own fabric. He's one of my favorite people that I, you know, look up to. And I would say over the years, of course, there's been a few European designers that that I, you know, have looked at, and they have kind of stuck with me. But a lot of the Afrocentric designers that are coming out right now that I'm really impressed with are coming from Africa, I have to say. I know there's a few in the States, but they're more sort of like jewelry designers or pocketbook designers. And with that being said, we really need to start purchasing and being a part of helping those designers become recognized.
I agree.
There's enough here, there's enough human beings on the planet for everybody to, you know, just embrace them. You know, because it can be very difficult. While I was here, you know, I had to keep telling myself, I have heard horror stories of other designers of getting into serious debt to have to, you know, because you make a line of clothing or you do a fashion show, and sometimes everything doesn't sell, and you might, you know, spend all this money on the fabric and whatever, and then sometimes everything sells. So it's always a gamble, you know. You have to learn how to know that what you think is beautiful might look beautiful on the runway, but not necessarily be something for a rack. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not ready to wear, right? It might be just couture, right? And somebody might see it and say, okay, where am I going to wear that? You know, it's too couture. And I really love couture. I love couture so much. There's another designer, his name escapes me right now, and they have like mixed Japanese kimonos with African fabric. And I like that type of couture thing, and I always want to go kind of like avant-garde. But again, avant-garde is not ready to wear. You know, so you can spend all that money making avant-garde or creating your avant-garde, but you know, it's only a select few that are going to purchase it. So you got to be really, really careful to, you know, pull it back.
Interesting. Now, being in such a diverse market here, because fashion is really big here, it is huge. Fashion is huge here in the UAE. And how has your line been? How has it been taken? Has it been, you know, like received here in the UAE?
Well, I'm happy to say a brother by the name of William, who is one of the, I guess, organizers or one of the people that created it's UAE Africa Network. Shout out to them. He was like the first person that gave me the ability to showcase my clothing at this place in Dubai called it's a Brazilian restaurant. Forgive me if I get the name wrong. Something Choco Dubai or something like that. I can't remember the name right now.
Wow.
And I had my first major fashion show there.
I missed it.
Yeah,
I think I saw clips people had posted and pictures, and I was like, I missed it. We weren't here. But I was like, I'm so proud of her when I saw the fashion show. That was big.
And that's when I decided that I was going to continue to embrace the West African symbols. The West African symbols that I like to use are one about unity, one about God, and one that God is omnipotent, and one is about friendship, right? That I decided that I was going to use those symbols because as people, those are like the major crucial symbols that we need to pay attention to, right? We're as human beings, how to love each other, how to have unity, how to realize that there actually is a supreme being, you know, for me anyway. I showcased a lot of those symbols in that fashion show. I was really excited for it. I was really excited for the opportunity. So here in this part of the region, you know, women tend to really dress well.
They do.
You know, and many times, like you go into the store, look good going to the store. So they really did, the community, the expats that were here, shout out to all of you that have gone on, really supported me. I had a lot of support, a lot of encouragement from all different entities, men, women, and I was extremely thankful from you. You know, I was really, really pleased about the feedback that I got from my designs.
Nice. So where do you see, we're so super proud of you. Oh my goodness, congratulations on all the success.
Thank you.
Where do you see Akousa Creations in, say, the next 3 to 5 years? Do you plan on, because I know you have a line of abayas right now, what other things or items do you plan to make?
Okay, so I'm trying to take it forward. I'm rebranding at this present stage. Trying to make things a little bit more cost effective and a little bit more younger, I would say, you know, maybe from 20, starting from like 20 up. So, and
age bracket.
Age bracket, and also because here in the UAE, being able to get a tailor is second to nothing. You know, it's not second to nothing to find a good one. You know, that can be a task in itself. But there's tailors all around, right? So, you know, if I have to move forward to another part of the world, you know, chances are I'm going to have to get my things mass produced or get them sampled someplace else and then mass produced. So I really have to, and then the ability to get the fabric. You know, the fabric industry here is second to none.
Wow.
Second to none. You know, I used to work in the garment industry. Sorry.
So compared to like a place like New York, how would you compare this? This is like number one.
Number one. For example,
Wow.
I went to Miami and I went to look to purchase silk in Miami. The silk that they had in Miami was like $45, $65 a yard. That same silk here would be about $15.
Woo.
The 65 dirham a yard here in the States would be about 125, 130.
Are you kidding?
I have gown.
The same fabric.
I have gown fabric. I have a gown fabric that's similar to something Beyonce wore when she had like this beaded thing with like these shorts and the matching boots. I have something similar to that. I spent 300 dirham for 6 meters.
What?
Which is equivalent to like $125, $135
for meters.
So when it comes to fabric, when it comes to embellishing things,
what you need.
trimmings,
Wow.
not so much buttons. Like buttons and that type of stuff is hardware. It's harder to find here, in my opinion. I haven't been lucky with finding hardware, but silk, linen,
Wow.
any type of cotton, say the other.
Anything, wool, cotton.
Wool, not so much. Wool is another story in it entirely.
But we don't need it anyway. Not here.
We don't really need it exactly. But it's very, very reasonable here, and because of that is one of the reasons why I've been stuck here.
Wow.
You know, because I did go to New York. I went to New York and I went to the garment industry in New York, and I went to the trimmings industry in New York, and I looked at the prices, and I went to the fabric stores, and I did all of that, and I compared the prices to try to say, okay, will I have to really get my stuff from Asia? Will I have to buy my stuff bulk from there or from here and have it shipped? I had to go through all of that in my mind to think about how am I going to carry this forward. So how I'm carrying this forward to come out of that boutique, avant-garde, or exclusive wear items is something I'm still in the process of sorting out. Who knows, if God says you need to just go to accessories, I'm just gonna have to go to accessories. And it's nothing. I'm gonna say that to anybody. It's nothing wrong with changing if things not going in the direction that you wanted to go in. You have to learn how to be flexible. So I'm trying to learn how to be flexible, trying to learn how to accept the fact that if I can't get this type of silk, because this type of silk is
Yes.
you go in a fabric store and it's like the people that in Allen used to laugh at me and be like, okay, it's 1 o'clock here now, what time you leaving, miss? It's like literally I'd be in there literally for about 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
4 or 5 hours just going, let me see that, let me see that,
Oh, wow.
let me see that,
So
let
it's
me
a
see.
variety of.
Yes.
Oh wow.
It's like a candy store.
Yes.
And then in Dubai, oh my God.
Endless.
Oh my God. Endless and endless and endless, of fabric. Maybe I'll have to sell Akousa Creations fabric, you know?
Oh, wow.
So, we'll see. We'll see. It's
Okay.
all in God's hands. You know,
Yes,
all in
yes.
God's hands. I'm giving it to God. He helped
Yes.
me with this, you know, being imaginative, being creative. I'm thankful, and that's why I love to be around imaginative, creative people.
Oh, you're so sweet.
And you know, go to different type of events with them,
Yes.
and you know, taking the energy and just see what happens next.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Ayla has a question. Let's
Yes.
see.
Rare for me.
She's got her hand raised. Here's a question.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, wait.
Yes. So I have a question.
Yes.
So for your brand, I know you usually have models to model your clothes. So
Yes.
how do you go about finding those models, and what do you look for?
Okay. So I look for women that are universally gorgeous from a variety of ethnicities. Because as women, no matter what ethnicity we're from, we're all gorgeous, right? So I don't have any particular group I'm looking for. I'm not trying to tailor my clothing just to women of color, or just to African women, or just to Black American women, or just to West Indian women. Everybody should, you know, want to get my clothing. So what I just try to do is just look for that girl that has that unique style, that, you know, doesn't really want to look like the paper cutter person of everybody else. And you can always see them. You see them in the mall, you see them in the car, and I say, hey, you know, you have a model, you know? And I go up to them, and, you know, sometimes they have modeled and sometimes they haven't. And that's basically, you know, what I want to bring my clothes to women who feel that they are special and unique. That's basically it. So that's what I look for, unique women.
Unique.
I can't see that. Okay. Interesting. This is great. I can't wait for you guys to see her line, though. Next time we're gonna grab some of her abayas, because I definitely want to cop a few of those, you know, and show you what she has done. I mean, wow, the way you put those together, the ideas, the African symbols,
Yes.
and then the fabrics you
Yes.
use and the patterns, they're beautiful.
Thank you.
And for those of you who are just tuning in, thank you for checking us out. And we're not going to hold you too much longer. Definitely wanted to get up with my girl today. We had a fantastic time hanging out
we
today.
did.
It was Girls' Day. We were at art gallery. Well, it was art galleries and galleries and galleries. It was a huge art museum, and they had a lot of galleries that were there open with a lot of artists from around the world. Amazing things and art we saw today, and we had a fantastic time. So definitely
I saw a question.
a question.
I saw
Let's
a
see.
question.
Did you ask about the origins behind the name
Behind the name
Acosa? Okay, what does
Okay,
Acosa
so
mean?
let me tell you what happened. My father, who was an African historian, I'm in an interview. My father, who was an African historian, renamed me. I think it was 1990? I think 1998 or
Oh,
2002.
wow.
No,
Okay.
it wasn't 2002 because Kai was born. He had an African renaming ceremony, and he renamed me Acosa Kakari, and he gave me and
Your
it's
father.
my father, and it was God's gift, born on a Sunday.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
I was like,
Wow.
and funny thing is, he took an African name, and his African name was Kojo.
Wow.
So it was really special because it was like my father naming me twice. You know, of course, he gave me my initial name, and then he gave me the African name. The interesting thing is, it was my cousin, Paula Madison, who told me a year and a half ago that I'm not spelling it correctly. Well, it's too late. I already have. Yes, they're Ghanaian names. I took
Okay.
African Ghanaian names because a lot of Jamaicans' roots are either from Guyana or they're from Nigeria. That is where our roots is. Just so happened that my roots are from Nigeria. And I had prayed that it was from Ghana, but no. Oh, hey, no. It's from, at least my father.
Father's side.
Yeah, my father's side, not my mother's side. My mother's side is 100% Caribbean Indian. No ifs and buts about it. Well, Caribbean, and my grandfather was of German Jewish ancestry. Anyway, long story. So,
So how yes.
so that's how we got Acosa. So he spelled the name wrong.
Oh,
He spelled the
okay.
name wrong.
Dad spelled it wrong.
Dad spelled it wrong when he put it on the paper, and then I
Okay.
just kept it. And then by the time my cousin told me it was wrong, it was like, it's too late, it's everywhere. And I thought about it, and I was like, and Daddy gave it to me written like this, so I'm just gonna keep it. So I kept it.
Aw, okay. So I want to ask you in general, how has your experience been living here in the UAE? And I guess in comparison to, how's your experience been thus far? How long have you been here?
I've been here 11 years.
11 years.
I've been here 11 years.
11 years.
11 years. You know, coming
Wow.
here to the
Okay.
Sorry.
I have to stop you because there are people who are saying things like, "Oh, why are you going there? They don't like you. Be careful.
Yeah.
It's dangerous." So how has your experience been as a single woman, black woman, being here, and you have a daughter, beautiful daughter, and how has that been for you thus far?
Well, you know, I'm a little old-fashioned. I know it's kind of hard for, you know, the people that knew you when would believe that, you know, someone such as myself that partied every day and, you know, was in Harlem and on the Lower East Side and in the Village and in Soho in New York and Soho in London or whatever, you know, all over the place. So what I liked about it is that I'll never forget Crystal and Sharon and myself and a couple other ladies on New Year's Eve, our first or second year here, we dropped our kids off at the mall in Dubai, at the Dubai Mall on New Year's Eve. The oldest person was 12 years old. 5 kids. We dropped them off and said bye. And then we looked at each other and said, we didn't just drop our kids off at the mall, did we? Are we crazy?
One of the biggest malls in
One of the biggest
world.
malls in the world. And then the sad thing is, you know how they got home?
How?
They took a cab. They took a cab home.
Okay, I'm speechless. I didn't hear this story before.
A cab home. And it was just different things that happened. I went to the mall, I saw this pocketbook on the floor that was just sitting on the floor for hours, and all these people were walking around, and I was like, nobody's gonna pick up that pocketbook. Nobody's gonna. I dropped 3,000 dirham on the floor in the mall. And it just so happened that God told me to walk the other direction. I walked the other direction, didn't know I dropped it, saw some people looking at the money, and that person happened to be an undercover cop and a security guard. And I said to him, oh my God, I think that's my money. And they took me in a room, and it was cameras everywhere. So the thing about the UAE is that there is cameras everywhere.
And they
Everywhere.
don't play.
Okay? And if you think that you're getting away with something, you don't get away with anything. You might think that you got away with it, but the only thing you could do is get on a plane and try and get out of here before they catch you and send it to the authorities to stop you from leaving the country.
Yeah.
So that was a thing.
Somebody said safety and honesty. That is
Safety
awesome.
and
That's-
honesty. So
seriously.
that was a thing because it reminded me very much of where I was from in Wickham. It reminded me of the old Jamaica.
Wow.
That's what it was. when we came here, it reminded me of old Jamaica and how Jamaica used to be, with the warmth of people, with the warmth of sisterhood. Sisterhood here is I have the best woman I think I've ever met in my life. Between you and Iman and Sunny Days and Sharon and Crystal, the list, forgive me if I forgot anybody. Kira, the list just goes on and on and on and on.
Wow.
It's just, and Michelle, Francois, it's just, it's sisterhood is what really kept me here. And as women of color, when we came here, because we ourselves were so respectful with ourselves and so intelligent, it took them a while to get used to our voice and the fact that we were here. But when they saw that, oh, they're here, then they started to say like, yeah, it looks like they're staying.
Hey,
in
the house.
And the best thing about us staying is, unfortunately, there's immigration all over the world or migration all over the world for all different reasons. But I have to say to women of color that are leaving the States and England and any country that's considered a major country, that when you go someplace new, embrace it. You understand what I'm saying? Embrace it, accept it, create relationships. The more you embrace it, and the more you say to yourself and remind yourself that it's not where you came from, it is, the better it is for you.
Yes.
And I think that one of the last things that really helped me here is, my parents are from the Windbush generation, which is the Caribbean people that came over from the Caribbean to England, right? To work like how we came to work, right? And they had all these stories about the community and how the community was and how they helped each other. How we helped each other, how we didn't have to have a babysitter. You don't have to have a babysitter. You never had to have a babysitter when we came here. If somebody wasn't going out, they looked at you and said, oh, go, I'll take your kids. Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Our community here is like so.
It
right.
It was ridiculous. It was, and you would look at them and say,
You're
you
right.
gonna take all three of them? You take, you were taking.
That's here.
The house is big enough. We're taking all of you, and all the kids would stay.
Yeah.
And you instantly became the aunt,
You the aunt.
or the grandma,
That's
or the
right.
sister, or the cousin.
Right here.
Instantly, it was
That's
no
right.
ifs and buts about it. I met one of my friends, Crystal, because she looked at me at the hotel where we were staying at, and she said, "Hey, you want to share a car with me?" And we rented a car. I knew this woman from nowhere, and we shared a car. No beef, no misunderstanding.
Yes.
No, she's gone with the car for 10 hours and didn't come back, and I'm sitting here, none of that. So it really teaches you how we should be living where we come from.
Yes.
Remember that saying, it takes a village to raise a...
And I really feel that way. I
Yes.
feel that when we got
Yes.
here, you're right, our community is so big here. Some people have gone and some people are actually returning, to be
Yes.
honest. I'm
Yes.
serious.
Yes.
There are people who have left here, and I'm glad they're hearing it from you, because for us to just keep saying it, people won't get it. It's like, you got to hear from somebody else, and this is not scripted. This is straight from the horse's mouth, not your horse, your beautiful woman. But like, she's telling you her own experiences, her personal experiences. She's been here longer than we have been here, and she's still here. And man, the community that we have here is it's real.
Yes.
It's real.
Yes.
And we really look after each other, care for each
Yes.
other. And like she said, you're the auntie.
Yes.
You're the
Yes.
designated auntie or whatever.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and we do what we do. We have fun.
And I don't want to get into I'm not going to say, I know, I'm very, Afrocentric, and I know my history, and I know who has done us wrong, and I know who hasn't done us wrong? I know all of that. But the fact of the matter is, we have to live someplace peacefully. And if we can't find it where we are coming from,
Hello.
then go find it someplace else.
Oh.
Because as a human being, you deserve to live peacefully. Right?
You go where you're treated.
You go where it's important for you to be
and
safe.
peace.
It's important for you to not get robbed. It's important for you to not get shot in the classroom. It's important for you to not be shot at church.
Hello.
It's important for you to not be shot at the
How
supermarket.
about looking over your shoulder every 2 minutes?
know,
I can't live like that.
And then when you speak to the authorities about it, they're like, "Oh, sucks to be you." You know, it's important for you to be in a society where the criminal is the prey and you are the unlucky victim. So for that reason, you know, and I know that it's a beautiful, yes, it's beautiful. West is beautiful. It has everything. And do I miss it? Some aspects of it I do. And do I wish that they could learn from other people how to monitor and how to create society, a safe climate society for themselves? Yes. Do I wish that I had a lot of the things I have here abroad in the West? Yes. But I just love it here. I love how women look. I love that I don't see sagging pants. I love that the people that, you know, and I'm sorry I have to go here. I love it that the hair is not out of order and all over the place.
Out of order.
And it's, and you don't know nothing about Rasta, but it's all right. You know, I just prefer. I prefer how people represent themselves, right? How they respect each other. How we treat each other. How we're respected. And if you know, people say you gotta give respect to get respect. No, but sometimes you gotta look respectful.
Wow.
You know, I had a father and an Uncle Baba, and my other uncles, Uncle Aston and Uncle Son, and it goes on and on. They always looked respectable. You know, you never confuse them with somebody on the street that didn't have any place to go, right? So, I believe that we need to find I was hoping it was going to be the Caribbean, to be perfectly honest. If you asked me where I had hoped my Mecca was going to be, I was going to say, it's going to be the Caribbean. I think Trinidad or Barbados or Jamaica. Right up and woo, my flag. Oh no, it don't happen. I'm still waiting. I'm not saying that it's not ever going to happen. I know Barbados has a head run, but that's why I'm still here. Not to go on and on and on, but that's fine. We're here with my sisters and my nieces.
That's right. That's right.
You know.
And my niece just walked in. She's over there ordering something, so I want to say hi to her beautiful daughter. Just walked up, and she just came in. I want to find out about what happened. Would you prefer loyalty or respect? Wow.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Explain that one.
Let's try both. Peace and blessings, you and family. Checking in from Central Florida. I am glad I finally caught the live. Shout out to you, JB71. Let's get the likes up. Thank you, King Nomad. Let's get the likes up. This is amazing. I love it. Yes. Same thing happens in Caribbean, Nigeria, mostly. Blah, blah, blah. I'm in Portugal 5 years, Berlin 8 years. I'm loving your journey, and who knows where I'm going next. All right, Deborah. All right. Nice. All right. So, wait on Kai. Yes, I want you to meet her beautiful daughter and find out how the concert went and who she with. Kai. Here she is. Here's my niece. How are you, lovely? How beautiful. Look at her. How are you, darling? Yeah, so she just got in. How are you? Say hi. You are live. You okay? Hey. All right. So how was the concert?
Honestly, it was a waste of money, and I'm glad.
Oh, no.
Because, like,
Oh, good. You got a break.
Yeah.
Okay. Who'd you go to see?
It was Kendrick.
Kendrick Lamar. Wow. So how was?
Okay. He was like 7 out of 10.
Oh, okay, 7 out of 10 today. Kendrick Lamar. So people don't know we have things like this going down in the UAE. So she went to see. Oh, I'm sorry. You turn it the other way. All right. So you went to see. Who else was there? Kendrick Lamar. Who else?
No, it was literally just Kendrick.
Just Kendrick.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. And were there a lot of people?
There was a lot of people.
Wow.
You know, I don't know if I should be saying this, but we went into like the admissions, like the other one.
Oh, you got into 2 concerts? You got into 2 concerts.
We got into VIP.
So, VIP. Okay. So, Kai, tell them, and this is her beautiful daughter. This is Kai. So, Kai, tell them, how long have you been here in the UAE?
I've been here for 10 years.
11.
10.
This is the 11th.
11.
11.
How has it been for you?
Honestly, it's a good experience. I like third culture kids, you know. It's always good to like leave where you're from. It's always good to like, you know, and learn more about different cultures and different upbringings. Because once you do, it just opens a new world, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And I'm glad you're able to connect with my lovely daughter too. Oh, I'm so happy that you guys are connected and you're about to do some things together. So
Yes.
what is it that you do now? And how old are you?
I'm 20.
20. All right.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is time flies. Time flies. So what are you up to now?
So my partner and I, Layla, we're doing this project. There's 2. There's the spot. Let me start from the beginning. So Layla, she has a gallery. And basically it's called I Am Art. It's at Neck Tower. It's like the ground floor. And basically she's an art consultant. So they have like 40 plus artists, like international artists around, like under their belt. So there's that. So basically with the spot, me and her, after her mom like passed, we decided to like collaborate and create the spot, which is basically a space where we bring individuals that are of all different types of like in different parts of the creative field. So for example, our first launch was a tribute to the dance community because I like dancing. So I was like, you know what, why don't we bring a whole bunch of dancers together and have a dance cypher? So it was called Run the Track. And basically we just rented out this space. And it actually went beyond capacity, which is why we were like, we need to do this again since more people, you know, like people want to be a part of this. So yeah, we reached out to a few dancers. There's basically this place at Berkeley College, and they have like dance classes every Wednesday. So we were like, yeah, they should come down. You know,
Is this Berkeley, like Berkeley from the U.S. is a campus here?
Yeah, there's a campus here at Manarat Salayat.
Wow.
Yeah, the museum. So we called them, we were like, yeah, you guys should come down. There was like 8, 9 of them, and we did like a cypher. And yeah, so that was our first. But in the future, with I Am, like for example, we have this photographer by the name of Zaid Al-Hadar, and basically we're collaborating with him to have his own exhibition. It's gonna be this month. But yes, so that's basically what we're doing. We're just like reaching out to other creators and giving them a platform to express themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that's a lot.
No, that's cool. And then I'm so glad you reached out to my baby. All right, Ayla the artist who's going to be joining you.
So true.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that real quick, what you guys are going to be doing.
Okay, so basically, Ayla, I know she's like also into like graphic art, because honestly, for me, if our team, I want everybody to be able to have, you know, their own, how can I say this? Like I want everybody on the team to be able to grow as well, you know? So I was like, you know what, why don't we collaborate with Ayla so that she can also like learn, but also like get better at her craft, you know? So, because for our team, for example, we also have this guy named Sultan Al-Khambashi, and he's also a kind of a renowned local videographer in Abu Dhabi. He shot for Yaz,
Oh wow.
Like Yasmin Circuit. He's so talented, honestly.
That's huge.
Yeah, yeah. So he also wants to be part of our team, or he's going to be a part of our team. So yeah, that's kind of it. So Ayla will be helping us with just getting ideas out there, but also like thinking of different possible events that the community would be interested in, and like just helping us out, however.
Wow.
And also, it's a way, because I also want to teach her, if you're interested, how to do like videography, because Zayed also, Sultan, he also is a videographer, as I was saying. So we'll like teach her different parts of media and stuff that'll be important. Like photography, videography, different types of graphic design, even though you do illustration.
Yeah.
You're an artist.
And yeah, that's it.
Right. Right. How do you feel about that, Miss Ayla?
Very
Finally
excited.
connecting with your group, your
Yes.
age group, people in your age group. How do you finally? All right.
Yes.
All right. Looking
I'm
forward
very
to that.
excited to be that because I am very open to learning new things. Have no problem with that. Oh yeah. 'Cause
No, no.
yeah, I'm very open to learning new things and being around people my age and just getting that social aspect of life.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially because like in Abu Dhabi, you don't really know the crowd, especially if you're homeschooled.
Yeah.
Because I was homeschooled.
Okay.
From 5th to 8th, I was in high school, but 9th till 12th, I was homeschooled.
Okay.
So being here, seeing my friends leave and go to different countries and like not come back, I'm like, where's the crowd,
Okay.
And honestly, if I didn't bump into, like for example, okay, I'll just tell you about like Zayed. So basically Zayed, I have a friend named Eliazia, and she has this private brand called like OMT.AE. It's like a women's empowerment clothing brand. So she reached out to me and she was like, hey, I have a photo shoot, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay, cool. So he was the photographer for the shoot. So I met him there. And then literally a month afterwards, like this is literally God, by the way. Literally a month afterwards, I met him at Youth Hub.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which is, I don't know if you've seen it. It's across from Corniche. It's this big architecture.
wow.
It's beautiful, honestly, and you can rent their spaces. They have a studio. Yeah, they have a
So
studio.
this is for the youth. I think I'm.
Yes.
The youth.
Yeah.
So we were just messing around like, oh yeah, they have a youth space called it's the youth hub.
Up to 40.
We're gonna get the old head hub.
But yeah.
All right.
But
So this is a space dedicated just
Yes.
for the youth. Wow.
yeah, so there's a lot.
So what's the age range of the?
It's from like 14 to like 35.
Really?
And there's you guys you really need to go see the space.
Wow.
Because they have a photo studio, they have
Okay. we're gonna
I
have to
think
check
they
that
have press printing.
Okay.
They have, because initially, I don't know if you remember, but especially like near Adnek Tower, they have like
We can sit out there if they're trying to close. Okay.
yeah.
Let's keep going.
So basically, near Adnek Tower, there was a racetrack. Or,
See?
yes, do you want to hold it?
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so basically, there was a racetrack at Adnek Tower, right? And basically, I think in 2016, they were gonna have the track, like the Yaz circuit, like the F1, be around the entire city.
Oh.
Yeah, it was gonna be like the entire city. But then
serious.
they pulled out of that project. I don't remember
Okay,
why.
It's kind of big. That's big.
Yeah. So that area in front of it was where the important people were gonna watch so that building, and then it was there for years. It was there for years.
Right.
Good.
I think
Yeah.
we should help.
Should I hold? Okay. I was like, okay.
So you keep going.
Okay. But yeah, it was there for years. So the government was like, why don't we just dedicate this, like give this space to the youth? So yeah, I don't know what, you guys honestly need to go see it. It's
We will.
beautiful.
We will.
It's like German architecture. It's very nice. And there's study rooms, there's a library section where you can read. They have private cells that you can rent, not paid. Everything is free, by the way. You can rent the spaces. You can rent the spaces for certain hours and have meetings in there.
See, this is.
And they have a auditorium.
It's good.
Yeah, they have an auditorium. There's like a piano. They have a cafe. You can like do lessons. Like my friend Zaya Abdullah, he's like a singer.
And he's local.
Yeah,
These are
he's local. Yeah, they're
So
all half local.
is there a mix of local and expat children that attend?
Yes, yeah, in general, but like all my friends are half local, which is kind of funny, or like most of them. But yeah, it's a very
Local and expat.
yeah. So yeah, it's a very mixed space. Everybody's welcome, and even downstairs they have 3D printing.
What?
Yeah,
Excuse?
yeah, they have 3D printing downstairs.
Oh, okay, King Nomad, did you hear that? We have to go visit the space. I want to see this. I have to see this,
gonna be
babe.
so
I hope-
shocked.
yeah, I know you're on here. We're gonna go visit the space so everybody can get a look at this
It's
space.
not the YMCA. That's all I gotta say.
That's serious.
No,
And
it is probably what they wanted the YMCA
So I think you
to.
said one of the sheikhs gave the space to the youth.
Yes.
Wow.
It's what the
Wow.
it's what at one time, I don't know, like in New York at one time we used to have like a lot of youth centers and community centers and all of that. Well, this is a community
Center
center
there if they trying to.
times 10,
Okay.
times 10, because it's a state of the art building.
Woo. That's serious. That's serious. I like that. And so that's another thing. It's like the opportunities and the things that our children have access to. You know what I'm saying? And for nothing at all, or much of nothing. You know what I mean? For free. You're telling me this building, you have access to all of these different things. 3D printing, really? And study spaces, spaces to sit and create. And and Ayla is super happy, and that means everything. I'm sorry, that means everything. Her to be able to connect with